Sigma males are often portrayed as the silent alphas, the lone wolves who have cracked the code of success. But here's a question nobody's asking: what's the real cost of being a Sigma? We're here to rip off the mask and dive into the dark truths nobody talks about. Forget the hype about being the ultimate lone wolf. We're getting real about what it actually means to be a Sigma in a world that doesn't quite understand you. Think it's all about effortless charm and mysterious allure? Think again. There's a flip side to this coin, and it's not pretty. From the struggle to connect in a world obsessed with small talk to the constant battle between ambition and belonging, we're laying it all out with no sugarcoating and no BS. Whether you identify as a Sigma or you're just trying to understand one, this video will open your eyes. So, let's cut through the noise and get to the heart of what being a Sigma really means: the good, the bad, and the ugly. 8. Blunt honesty hurts feelings. Sigma men are like that friend who always tells it like it is, no filter. While this might sound great in theory, in practice it can lead to some uncomfortable situations. They don't sugarcoat. They say what they think straight up. If your haircut looks bad, they'll tell you. If your idea at work sucks, you'll know about it. They're not trying to be mean, they're just being honest. But here's the problem. Most people aren't ready for that level of honesty. We're used to little white lies and tactful responses, so when a Sigma drops a truth bomb, it can feel like a slap in the face. They often don't understand why people get upset. They think, I'm just being honest, isn't that a good thing? They don't see the point in softening the blow or sparing someone's feelings if it means not telling the truth. This can create challenges for them. They might rub coworkers the wrong way or get a reputation for being harsh. Even if they're right, people don't always like to be told the hard truth. They want it delivered in a nice package with a bow on top. But for Sigmas, that's just not how they operate. They cut through the fluff and get straight to the point. It's not that they're trying to be hurtful, but sometimes the truth stings. In a society that values emotional sensitivity, this trait can make it hard for Sigma men to fit in. It's a tricky balance. Their honesty can be exactly what people need in a world full of fake, but it can also make them seem cold or uncaring. It's part of the Sigma struggle. 7. Seen as secretive, but they just hate explaining themselves. Many people describe Sigma men as mysterious and secretive. It's part of their allure, right? Wrong. The truth is, Sigma males aren't trying to be mysterious. They just can't stand the thought of having to explain every little thing about themselves. It's not that they have dark secrets or hidden agendas. They simply find the process of explaining their thoughts, actions, or decisions incredibly draining. Think about it. How often have you done something that made perfect sense to you, only to be bombarded with questions like, why did you do that? What were you thinking? For a Sigma, these questions are like nails on a chalkboard. It's not about being difficult or purposely vague. It's about valuing their mental energy and time. Sigma men operate on their own wavelength, and translating that for others feels like a waste of effort. But this trait often backfires. Instead of being left alone, they become the subject of even more curiosity and speculation. People start filling in the blanks with their own assumptions, often painting the Sigma male as more mysterious or complicated than he really is. But he's not trying to be difficult. He's just trying to avoid what he sees as unnecessary explanations. It's not secretive, it's just efficient in their eyes. However, in a world that demands constant communication, this trait can be a double-edged sword. 6. Hate small talk, but can't escape it. The small talk trap, those awkward conversations that serve no real purpose. You're standing there, trapped in a discussion about the weather or last night's reality TV show. Your mind is screaming for something more intellectually stimulating, but you're stuck. For a Sigma, this is pure torture. They crave depth, meaning, and ideas that challenge them, but they can't escape small talk. It's the all that keeps the social machine running smoothly. Try to avoid it, and you're labeled as antisocial. Struggle through it, and you feel like you're wearing a mask, playing a part in a play you never auditioned for. This isn't just about being introverted. It's about feeling like you're wasting precious time and energy on interactions that feel empty and meaningless. Sigmas want to connect, but not like this. They want to dive deep, but the world seems content to stay in the shallow end. So, they're stuck, caught between their need for genuine connection and the social niceties that grease the wheels of everyday life. It's exhausting, frustrating, and a constant reminder that they operate on a different wavelength than most people around them. 5. Confidence misinterpreted as arrogance. When you're a Sigma, people often mistake your quiet confidence for arrogance. They see you as someone who doesn't need anyone, as if you're above it all, when in truth, you're simply comfortable in your own skin and don't feel the need to constantly prove yourself. You're not arrogant, you just know your worth, and that can make people uncomfortable. The problem is that most people aren't used to this level of self-assurance. When a Sigma walks into a room, he's not trying to impress anyone. He's just being himself. But to others, it can come off as cocky or arrogant. The Sigma man might disagree with his boss without hesitation or confidently present a different idea from the rest of the group. This can make others feel intimidated or even threatened. They might think he's trying to show off or be a rebel when he's just speaking his mind without fear of judgment. He's not being disrespectful. He just believes in his ideas. But to the boss and coworkers, it looks like the Sigma thinks he's better than everyone else. Or take dating. The Sigma man might not chase after women or play hard to get. He'll be honest about his intentions and doesn't feel the need to impress or flatter anyone. This can come off as indifference or arrogance to potential partners who are used to the traditional dating game. He's not playing games, he's just being himself. The thing is, Sigma men aren't trying to put anyone down or show off, they're just secure in who they are. But in a society where many people battle self-doubt, this kind of confidence can be intimidating. This misunderstanding can lead to Sigma men being labeled as weird or loners. People might avoid them or talk behind their backs, which only reinforces their natural inclination to keep to themselves. It's no wonder they often feel like outsiders looking in at a world that doesn't quite understand them. It's a tough line to walk, but it's part of the Sigma journey. 4. Can lead a team but hate being in the spotlight. Sigma men have a unique relationship with leadership. They've got the skills to run the show, but they'd rather not be center stage. It's like they're born with a natural ability to take charge, but they're not out there gunning for the top spot. When a project's going off the rails or there's a crisis, that's when you'll see a Sigma step up. They have a calm, collected vibe that just works. They can cut through the chaos, figure out what needs to be done, and get people moving in the right direction. It's not about barking orders, it's more like they just know how to make things click. But once the job is done, they're ready to fade into the background. They don't need the praise, the spotlight, or the fancy title. They just want to get things done and move on. It's not false modesty. They genuinely don't care about the recognition. This can throw people off. Most folks are used to leaders who want to be seen, who crave attention, but the Sigma man isn't interested in the ego boost. He might be the last person to speak in a meeting or the one quietly solving problems while everyone else is arguing. It's not that they can't handle attention, they just find it draining. All those team-building exercises, motivational speeches, and leadership seminars are pure torture for a Sigma. They'd rather lead by example through actions instead of words. People often respect a leader who isn't in it for the glory, but it can also cause issues. Team members might feel like their leader is distant or uninterested. Higher-ups might overlook him for promotions because he's not putting himself out there. How do you lead effectively without getting sucked into all the parts of leadership you hate? It's a balancing act, but when they get it right, Sigma males can be some of the most impactful leaders out there, even if they're not the ones you see in the spotlight. 3. Good listeners, but terrible at opening up. Sigma men have a unique mix. They can sit and listen to you spill your guts for hours, nodding and asking the right questions, really understanding what you're saying. But when it comes to their own issues, it's total lockdown. It's not that they don't trust you. It's just how they're wired. Sigma men process things internally. They'll turn a problem over in their head 100 times before they even think about saying it out loud. This makes them great friends when you need to vent because they don't jump in with advice or try to fix everything. They just listen. People love that about them. But when it's their turn to open up, it's a whole different story. Ask a Sigma how he's doing, and you'll probably get a fine or okay. Try to dig deeper, and it's like hitting a brick wall. It's not about being secretive. Sigma men just don't see the point in talking about their feelings or problems. They figure they can handle it on their own, so why bother anyone else? This can make relationships tricky. People might feel like these guys don't trust them or are hiding something, but they're just not used to verbalizing every thought and emotion. They're more comfortable dealing with things on their own, which can make them seem distant or unapproachable. Opening up feels like showing weakness. They're used to being self-reliant, so asking for help or sharing their struggles doesn't come naturally. 2. Questioning useless rules creates conflict at work. Sigma men are not rebels without a cause, but they can't stand pointless regulations or unnecessary bureaucracy. This trait can be a double-edged sword at work. When they see a rule that's slowing things down or making no sense, they're not afraid to speak up. They'll question it, challenge it, and often come up with a better way to do things. Sometimes this works out great. They might simplify a process that's been causing headaches for years or find a workaround that saves the company time and money. That's when Sigma men are seen as innovators who push the business forward. But it's not always easy. A lot of workplaces run on tradition and the "that's how we've always done it" mentality. When a Sigma questions these long-held beliefs, it can upset a lot of people. Managers might see them as troublemakers. Coworkers might think they're trying to show off or make everyone else look bad. And HR might get involved if the Sigma pushes too hard against established policies. It's not that they don't respect authority. They just respect results and efficiency more. They're not questioning rules for the sake of it. If a rule doesn't make sense to them or actively gets in the way of doing good work, why keep it? This attitude can lead to tense situations. Many Sigma men might find themselves in hot water for ignoring protocols they see as useless, or they might get frustrated when their suggestions fall on deaf ears. They have to pick their battles wisely, figuring out when pushing back is worth it and when it's better to play along. It's about finding ways to improve things without coming across as a constant critic. People don't always like being told they're doing things wrong, even if it's for the greater good. 1. Their minds never stop, making sleep tough. For many Sigma men, a good night's sleep feels like a rare luxury. Their active mind, which serves them so well in many areas of life, becomes their biggest enemy when it's time to rest. Their brains never seem to shut off. It's like they've got a 24/7 thought factory running up there. When everyone else is winding down for the night, their minds are just getting started. They'll lie in bed and suddenly remember something they forgot to do at work, or a conversation they had earlier will replay in their head over and over. They'll come up with new ideas, make mental to-do lists, or just find themselves lost in thought. It's a non-stop roller coaster of thoughts, plans, and analysis. This mental hyperactivity can be a real pain when it comes to sleep. Nights often turn into a battle between their racing minds and their need for rest. They might toss and turn for hours or give up and start working on projects at 3 a.m. This constant mental activity isn't all bad. It's often the source of their creativity and problem-solving skills, but it comes at a cost. Lack of sleep can leave them feeling drained during the day, even as their minds keep churning. Do you agree with the points I made in this video? Let me know in the comments. For more videos on Sigma males, check out some other videos on this channel. Thank you for watching. Like the video and subscribe for more.